Where's your devotion? Where's your devotion?
Hi Gemini, welcome to Maddie Tarot. I'm Maddie, and today we're going to be doing a general reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. So keep in mind this is a general reading. It may not resonate for everybody from front to back. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. You may need to swap roles throughout the reading. I am just reading energy and doing my best to make a story out of the messages that are coming through. So you may need to swap roles as you see fit. Be sure to not overextend or stretch yourself to make it fit. If it's not your story, it's not your story. And check your other placements because your messages could be there. I want to say thank you to anybody supporting this channel. I greatly appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, leave feedback. I'm open to receiving feedback, and I do try to respond to everybody. This is a passion of mine, and I greatly appreciate you guys coming along for the ride. So, Gemini, I've already cleansed the space, cleansed the decks, pre-shuffled, and meditated on the collective conscious of Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements. So what does Gemini need to know? What does Gemini need to know? Let's see, Gemini. So we're going to start with a card for you, Gemini. Gemini, you've got the Four of Wands. And for the person on your mind, the Fool. Past energy. The Page of Cups. Present energy. The King of Wands. Your intuition. The Page of Swords. And your challenge. The King of Cups. Advice. The Four of Cups. The person on your mind, what are they thinking? How are they feeling? And what's their next move? The Tower. Your bias or caution. The World. And guidance. The Queen of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, you've got the Lovers. Alrighty. Let's pull a crystal card for Gemini. Praise your light. Praise your light. Praise your light. All right, courage and confidence are what this stone brings. Boosting those qualities will manifest your goals and strengthen your motivation. Praise your light turns negative energies into positive ones. Once you're bathed in a positive light, all good things happen. So Gemini, you may be having trouble finding the good in something right now. Maybe you're just a bit in your head or tired of the mundane or the routine, and you kind of just find yourself getting down on yourself a lot, and on others even. It might be spilling out, and you're just taking out, you have a lot of anger in regard to things. Maybe you feel stifled. Maybe you feel like you're unfulfilled in some way. So let's get into this reading and see what's going on with you. Okay, so on your end, you've got the Four of Wands. So what I'm getting here is that there's some sort of longing that you're having to move toward some sort of energy. This could be a person. This could be a feeling. This could be something of nostalgia from the past. but you're longing to move toward that. You want a reunion. You want some sort of reconciliation and coming together here. This could be signifying that you're dealing with family issues at this time as well. And maybe there's just a lot that's weighing heavy on your mind in regard to that. On your person's end, they've got the Fool. Your person here doesn't seem to be as interested in hearing you out about this. Or if this is a person you're moving toward, this could potentially be saying that you are longing for some sort of reconciliation and new beginning with them. If you are in a connection, this is saying that your partner may not be supportive, and they may be wanting to just sweep things under the rug, move past it, or stop hearing about maybe a grievance that you have. On your end, you've got Judgment, clarifying the Four of Wands. On the person on your mind's end, they've got Ace of Swords. Okay, in the past energy here, the Page of Cups. So there was this could be childhood memories. It could also be talking about an apology. So maybe in the past, it looks like that if for those of you that maybe have long-standing issues that have been bothering you, you've been dealing with, it looks like you've tried to make amends with these things, and they just seem to keep coming back around, and you're kind of in this energy at this time of taking responsibility for it finally. Five of Pentacles here. Some sort of abandonment trauma, feeling like you're alone. This could potentially be somebody walking away from you, and that could signify what the reconciliation is about at this time. Or this could be you feel like you don't really have anyone on your team. And it just kind of seems like no matter who you air out your complaints to or talk to or try to be vulnerable with, it just seems like people kind of just brush over it. The King of Wands energy here in the present, let's see. Clarified by the Knave of Pentacles. Okay, so let's get into this. Some sort of reconciliation, some sort of reunion or coming together, gathering. And then here's responsibility, awakening, and judgment is like taking accountability, and really looking inward and kind of weighing, cleaning up your side of the street. What I'm getting here is that you're either moving toward a person that is from your past and wanting a new beginning with them, like I was saying, or you're taking accountability for kind of the long-standing issues that have been in your life. You've realized you can't control other people, and you must reconcile with yourself, essentially. Have some coming together of union with peace, and kind of choosing to say, what's within my control is what I need to worry about, and anything outside of that, I need to let go. And if this is a person you're moving toward, it looks like this new beginning, this is some sort of truth. They needed to see the truth in order to have this with you. And if this is something in regard to your person not being supportive of some struggles you're going through, it looks like maybe they might be a little bit naive. Maybe they don't listen very well. Maybe they think they know everything. They know the truth. Maybe they think that, I'm getting here sometimes, even a sense of like your person might just blow it off because they feel like this is their perception. They feel like they just complain about this all the time. They're always saying the same thing, or like they're tired of hearing it, and that's really kind of rude. So yeah, I'm sorry if that's what you're dealing with. In the past year, there was some sort of abandonment that took place, and maybe it was in childhood. Maybe it was something this person had walked away from you. Maybe that's why you're coming back together with them. For those of you that didn't happen, it looks like there's some sort of, you had to forgive something here in the past in order to let this pain go, but it maybe wasn't forgiven. Maybe it was carried through, and at this time, this is what you are facing and dealing with. Here we've got the King of Wands looking at the bigger picture. So for the Knave of Pentacles, if you want something you desire and to go after, new opportunities, goals, ambition, it's like you need to look at the bigger picture, King of Wands, and you have to have that desire and that drive and that passion to move toward it. In the present energy, it looks like you are picking up the pieces and pressing forward, regardless of if this person is on board with the truth of your truth, regardless if they are naive to that, regardless if they were unsupportive, and regardless if this is somebody you are coming back together with. It looks like you're following your truth at this time, Gemini. So that's wonderful. In your intuition, you've got the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is making an exerted effort. It's like having how do you say? It's knowledge. At its best, it's knowledge. At its worst, it's avoidance. So at its best here is what I'm getting, the energy. And it does, because it doesn't look like you're avoiding anything with the Judgment. You are coming into a sense of knowing, and your intuition is really helping you guide this. You feel this need for change in your gut, and it's something that is really causing a lot of emotional turbulence in your life, and you're having trouble balancing those things. But Spirit's asking you here to please be patient with yourself. And again, reminding you cannot control everything. You can only control how you react and how you respond. And that's way too many cards. You can only control how you react and how you respond. And it's better to respond than react. Reacting is impulsive. Responding is coordinated and thought out. And when you take a moment to gather yourself before reacting, so that way you can respond accordingly. That way you're not emotionally reacting to things and being very impulsive and triggered. But some sort of knowledge is coming through, and this has to do with Four of Pentacles. This has to do with the self. What you have been holding on to. Something you've been holding on to, you're finally releasing. This has held you back largely, not only in relationships, but in just moving forward and progressing in life. So for those of you that are moving into this new direction and moving toward a person to reconcile, it looks like some sort of knowledge about the self has really allowed you to see both sides and to have some sort of realization and reconsider things here. For those of you who are already in a connection and are just dealing with day-to-day life and just, growing essentially, again, knowledge, something of the self. You've cleared something out of your energy field that has allowed you to move forward. And this goes back to here about courage and confidence. You've gained courage and confidence. The King of Cups here in your challenge, clarified by the Eight of Swords. You have kept yourself in a mental prison regarding your emotional regulation, being in tune with your heart, and allowing your mind to kind of guide, your heart to guide the way, your mind to lead, your mind to course correct as needed. This has been a challenge for you, and it's something you're still largely working on. Your advice here is to stop fighting yourself. The Four of Cups talks about apathy and discontentment. The Five of Wands talks about a conflict, and the Wands are something that have to do with self mostly. Conflict with other people could be possible, but your advice here is it's not saying to have conflict with other people. It is saying those who cause you discontent and apathy, cut them out and do not waste your time fighting, because it does not only bring you more discontent and apathy, but it does no help for anybody. It's saying that, and it's saying to stop fighting yourself. Eradicate negative beliefs, for they are of no purpose and they do no good. They are literally a waste of time and energy, having a negative belief. And that could be something as benign as a negative belief could be anything, really. I can't trust people. People are not trustworthy. That's a negative belief. Get rid of that belief. Get rid of it. Throw it away. It literally does you no good, because it's just not true. There are people that you can trust. A lot of people may not be trustworthy, but you can't throw blanket statements around, because the world is not black and white. And so for you to your beliefs are what dictate your actions ultimately. And so getting rid of negative beliefs only does you does you well. The person who believes that they can cure cancer will be the one to cure it. If somebody doesn't believe they can, they'll never even try to come up with a vaccine or anything. You know what I mean? So like your beliefs determine what you do and how you act and show up. And if you have negative ones, you are limiting yourself. Period. Point blank, period. There's no way around it. I don't care how much evidence you have of a negative belief. Get rid of it. It is serving you. It is not serving you. Your person on your mind, how they're thinking, what they're feeling, what they're doing. The Tower, they are, you're changing something, and this is going to cause a Tower moment with somebody. Because they are content with how things were. The Sun is here. So their disruption to the happiness, it's like some people, oh, you got the Two of Cups here. I'm going to clarify that with your bias, with the world. And then the Star came out for your guidance. And then you've got the Nine of Swords here at the bottom. Okay. So let's start back here again. The Page of Swords, some sort of knowledge and understanding has come through in regard to the self. Four of Pentacles, in regard to how you hold yourself, what resources you're holding on to, the things you hold strong to and do not want to let go. This could be for protection. So you could hold on to pain for protection. You could hold on to your struggles and the things people have said to you, and you could hold on to negative beliefs for protection. Your intuition is telling you at this time to look at these things, and I believe you've already done so. You've already started, because in your challenge here is the Eight of Swords, which is the mental prison. That, look at this third eye here in this picture, and it is like, it's like it can see clearly, and there's a cloud here. I mean, this is this person's hair, but it's supposed to look like a cloud. And do you see how it's like clouded mind? And the eye is trying, you're not, when you're in the Eight of Swords energy, you're not seeing things clearly, because you're letting a negative belief and fear run the show and be the dictator of the projection of what your reality is. And so the King of Cups here is asking you to regulate your emotions in regard to these things, and your challenge is to get out of this Eight of Swords energy by recognizing the knowledge in regard to what you've been holding on to, the pain, the past you've had to reconcile with, the person maybe that hurt you, and that they are the new beginning of the truth with them. However this reading is applying to you, some sort of mental block has kept you, and this is your challenge. It's to regulate that and to come into a strong sense of knowing, of following your truth, following your knowing, following your heart. Your advice. This internal conflict, Five of Wands, causes a lot of apathy and discontentment within you. It makes you see the glass half empty instead of half full. It causes you to miss out on all the things you could be grateful for. Your advice here is to release these things. And also, anybody who causes you discontentment and apathy and negative emotional experience, do not spend your time arguing with them, because you're really just arguing with yourself. They say that if you argue with a fool, then that makes two fools. Your person on your mind, for those of you who are reconciling, they've gone through a Tower moment. They've been feeling pretty turbulent and upset, and you're bringing in a new sense, this truth of happiness with them. For those of you who have the unsupportive partner, who is naive to your truth, you shining through with your truth and your newfound way of relating to the world is going to cause them a Tower moment, because in a way they thrived off of your negative experience. Not to say that they wanted you to have that. What I'm saying is that there was an energetic exchange here, and this person subconsciously got some sort of power play or validation out of having you down and them. It's almost as if, I don't think they're even aware of this, but it's almost as if they're like, well, as long, it's not that they don't love you, it's that they have a messed up version of love, and they kind of like need to be on top, essentially. So like, you know, they say misery loves company. It's because they'll pull other people down to feel bigger about themselves. So they need to be on top, so they got to pull everyone else down, is what I'm getting there. Your bias here, it looks like your bias was surrounding the way something in love came to an end. So that's why you could be up here taking that accountability and having the reconciliation and this new beginning of truth with somebody, because you're finally dissolving this bias of why this love came to an end. Or you could be looking at your relationship at this time completely differently, because maybe you do not feel like you belong. Maybe you feel like underappreciated. Maybe you feel like you are not recognized for your achievements. And this is weighing on your heart space. Now, the reason it's in your bias and caution, I'm sorry, this is bias and caution. So the bias was the first one I said. The second one's caution. So for those of you with the unsupportive partner, that is a dangerous energy to be around if somebody makes you feel like that. And so you could be thinking largely about the possibility of ending this. It's not something you want to do, though. Your guidance here is to look at your sense of confidence, your radiance, the light you bring, how do you say? Your sense of self-worth, essentially. And understand that we go through issues in our life because they're part of our path. So this is part of your path. This is to stay on your path, to find your light, to continue guiding yourself forward. You can only do that by going inward and doing the introspective work in regard to your sense of self, your worth, your value. There's hope here. So follow that hope, find the light at the end of the tunnel. And you do this through really empowering yourself. And that is what you are being guided to do at this time. At the bottom of the deck here, you've got the Nine of Swords and the Lovers. So in regard to a love, for those of you who are reconciling with someone, you're finding a new sense of love after this trauma has happened. You have dissolved this, you've come to a new perspective about it, and coming back into this loving union. For those of you with the unsupportive partner, there is a lot of upset within the relationship at this time. And so you need to have courage and confidence to understand your light, your path, your truth, and discuss these things, communicate these things before it tears you two apart. Let's get some inner guidance messages here that hopefully will help you, Gemini. Inner guidance messages for Gemini. Completion. Accept what is. New beginning. Transformation. Here and now. And romance. Alrighty. So, two stories still. This is very much a very split down the middle reading. For those of you coming into reconciliation, coming to it with back in union with somebody, there was a completion of a cycle where you had to accept what was at the time, and transformation took place. And here and now, there's a new beginning in romance. For those of you who have the unsupportive partner, there is a completion of a cycle coming into play, where you are accepting what is, and there's a new beginning coming because of this transformation in the romance between you two. And you're being guided to stay in the here and now. Because when we stay in the past or project too far into the future, that is when we can never solve the issues that are here and now. And so all that exists is right now. And so you need to remain in the present and in your emotional body to be able to discuss these things that are going on. You've come to this truth within yourself, and it looks like this person is going to have a bit of a turbulent response to maybe some of the ways you're showing up for yourself, standing up for yourself, having this courage and this confidence. And so it might bring in either a new beginning, and it looks like, because the person here, the tower, it's something that falls to have something better come into its place. And that can happen all within a relationship and with one person. So it's not necessarily that the relationship ends. But what I'm saying is that this new beginning can either be if this person takes the tower moment well, or it could potentially show you some sort of truth in regard to your path. And you have the courage and confidence to decide what you want from there, if you want to stay with this person or not. So, Gemini, that's all I have for you today. I appreciate it, and I hope I helped. Thank you.
Feel like we've reached a crossroads. Ooh, don't you hate them ultimatums? But we need a revelation to save us. Stuck in the moment, it seems. The more I think, the more I don't know. I'm looking for a sign. Where's your devotion?